Greg, that's the humble, hard-working approach we've come to expect from Giannis.
You know, he's not interested in putting himself on a pedestal. Enough people do that for him. He just wants to become the best he can be and win rings.
And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Milwaukee?
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
Yeah, also something I like out of them so far, they're throwing their bodies around in the paint, and the physicality is taking its toll.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. And Milwaukee, looking at who they've got, we've got Marvin Williams, Matthews out there with Hill. Then there's Kyle Korver, and it's Ilyasova in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin. Well, if you just look for a few minutes at Giannis Antetokounmpo on the court, you know why he's called the Greek Freak. But it's the drive that makes him an MVP. He said, people try to make it complicated. Life is simple. You know what you want, go get it. Do what it takes every day, and don't lie to yourself. Guys, I hope you understand I'm being truthful in all of these reports. Back to you.
Love the intensity. David, thank you. And so it's Jones. He'll bring it up for Miami. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. That's a 2 from Lee. Robinson finds Lee. Olynyk in the corner. Jones, the pass to Lee. Shot clock at 5. From past the arc. Got a hand on it. Jones against Korver. And he's good on the 3-ball. And the Bucks lead by 2.
And Korver has made a living out of hitting that 3-ball. He has one of the quickest releases in the game.
Timeout called. The Heat. They're getting their first look of the season at the Bucks in this one. We've got 1:48 left in the first half of the game. That's a 2 from Lee. Here's Crowder. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. What you love about Crowder, he gives you a little bit of everything at both ends.
I mean, defensively, he'll take on anybody. He's smart, draws a lot of charges. Offensively, he can stretch the floor, and he'll make the extra pass. He's also an opportunistic rebounder.
Hill, he's checked in for Dante DiVincenzo. Greg, you really began to emerge and got on the national scene at UNLV, but you started your college career at Portland, where you were actually named the Conference Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, how about I actually averaged more points in Portland than in any season I played at Vegas. Totally different roles, but Portland's always going to have a sweet spot in my heart. My first child was born in the great city of Portland. And last season, just some phenomenal shooting numbers for George Hill. Clark, you know him well from your days in Indiana.
Certainly do, and have great admiration and respect for George. He's a business-like pro. He's the epitome of what it is to be a pro. Consistent work ethic, understands himself, always looking to improve, knows his role, and has always had a calming and stabilizing influence for every team that he's played on.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Here's Antetokounmpo. It's hauled in by the Heat.
Man, I can't believe he blew that gimme, guys. Well, I know he's frustrated about that.
Lee kicks to Robinson. Back to Lee from the arc. Lopez grabs the board. Lopez has got 4 rebounds now tonight.
You know, he just has not been himself this period. Just too inconsistent up and down at the offensive end.
Lee against Hill. Pulls up on the wing. Again, it's good. Bledsoe's got 7.
Strong and compactly built. I tell you, Bledsoe's tenacity overpowers some of his defenders.
Here's Lee. Makes good on the step-back jumper. Lee's got it all tied up now for the Heat.
Boy, at the offensive end, his game is so impressive. I mean, he's a threat every time up the floor.
Tie game in Milwaukee. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David. All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. Butler and Olynyk, the forward duo. Lee out there with Robinson. And it's Adebayo in at the 5, roaming the paint. Lee outside. Overhill will not go. This is off the front iron.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch. The game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Yeah, nice, strong finish there. Nearly a three-point opportunity.
Full throttle, pedal to the metal, attacking basketball. I like that.
Jones checked in for Butler. And both free throws good for Lee. And there's a minute 45 left here in the third quarter. The drive by Hill. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's going to be on Bam Adebayo.
Tell you what, when Hill slices in like this, puts a lot of pressure on the defense and almost forces them to foul.
Both free throws good from Hill. The Heat trail by 4. Here's Lee. It's hauled in by Ilyasova.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
Matthews, no one around him. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Matthews has got the lead up to 7 now for the Bucks. 1:11 left in the third. Lee outside. Over Hill. And again, it's the Heat missing.
Not a whole lot going down for him at this point. He just can't buy a break.
Here's DiVincenzo. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Bucks.
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3-ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And another area where they've separated themselves, guys, is at the foul line. I mean, those extra points are starting to add up.
And the Bucks making a change here. Lopez is checked in. Lee outside. Over Hill. Again, the miss by Lee.
And he's been...
And he converts the layup. Matthews has got 5 points in the quarter.
Matthews strong and confident, able to finish through tough defense there.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks, and they call an illegal screen here.
Beyond. And you know the coach's challenge was tried out in the G League for a few seasons. And I think it's a great idea. It helps provide a way to get certain types of plays looked at that otherwise wouldn't necessarily trigger any sort of replay review.
You know, Greg, I think the league doing a great job at continually evolving. Replay review has been pretty well received across the board, and everyone trying to do their best to make sure the calls are as accurate as possible. Robinson against DiVincenzo. Lopez up top. And so it's Milwaukee holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We'll take a quick break. And let's take now this moment to bring up our State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
For me, next to the big-time alley-oops and monster throwdowns, passes like that are probably the next best thing when it comes to sweet-looking NBA highlights.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or... if if it's more of the same from the first 3 quarters. Ilyasova at the 4, with Lopez at the 5. Dante DiVincenzo, he's out there with Hill. And it's Matthews in at the small forward. That's the group for Milwaukee right now. Hill against Lee. Pass to DiVincenzo. Here is Matthews. No good with the triple. Here's Lee, and stolen by DiVincenzo. Lets the 3 fly, and George Hill with the 3.
Really in a good position thanks to the accuracy from beyond.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, you got it real right. They are lighting it up from beyond the arc this half.
Pass to Robinson. That's tipped. Here's DiVincenzo. And Hill has it in the corner. And they pick up 2. Hill's got the lead up to 14 now for Milwaukee.
Outstanding body control by Hill. I mean, taking the contact like a much bigger guy would and finishing these buckets.
And Lee with the stuff.
And maybe that'll trigger them. Impossible not to get pumped up after that.
Yeah, well, you could see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are pumped up.
And that's what those alley-oops will do for a team. Ignition switch ignited.
Timeout called, the Bucks.
And taken with the 30th pick back in 2011, Jimmy Butler went from 15th man in Chicago, riding the end of the bench, to franchise.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Bucks.
We got to see a display of offensive prowess in this one that got it done. High-scoring game.
Bucket after bucket. They were really in attack mode all game long.
And so with this, they'll end up with their 2nd win on the year.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
The stats tell us that the winner of the first game is a big favorite to come out on top in the overall series.
Lee with the ball. Outside Crowder. Now the feed to Butler. Oh, and the jam by Butler.
It's always great to get into a rhythm, but do it when it matters.
Earlier, before the game was out of reach.
A floater, and Butler sends it back.
No denying it. Butler, a superb defender. Really does a nice job using his length to turn shots away.
And he makes the first. And both free throws good for Lee. Milwaukee with the ball. They led the game at 1 point by 20. DiVincenzo against Lee. And here is DiVincenzo. And there's the foul. It'll go on Lee. That is his first foul of the game. So no problem for Milwaukee as they get the win. They won this game going away. They were the better